Welcome to the T-Pac arcade. Today's game is Dark Cavern for the Atari 2600. In this 1982 elimination action game from Mattel Electronics, you're stuck in a dark cavern with a bunch of spiders and blobs and robots. And because this is a video game, they all want to destroy you. So naturally, your objective is to destroy them first. Dark Cavern is a single-screen maze, where you enter from a trapdoor in the center and wander around blasting bad guys. The joystick lets you move, but bear in mind, you'll just keep going in whichever direction you last pressed until you hit a wall. And the action button is for your cannon, but you do have to press the direction you want to aim first in order to fire, which makes the whole game essentially a series of quick blast and retreat sequences. And restocking missions, because you have limited ammo, 20 shots to begin with, and you need to pick up a flashing blaster icon to add an extra 10 bullets whenever you're running low. And don't dilly-dally when the ammo shows up, because it tends to disappear again pretty quick. Sort of like your lives whenever you get blasted by a robot. Along with spiders and blobs, they enter from the sides of the screen, with a max of 4 in the playfield at a time, wandering around and shooting at you whenever you get in their line of sight. Even as they're getting blown up by your own fire, which means you've got to skedaddle away right after every laser volley, unless you want to end up as steamy, incinerated person soup. What's interesting about the robots, though, is their color coding. See, they move up and down a chromatic scale depending on how many are in the playfield at a time. When all 4 are in play, they're at the lowest purple level, where they move the fastest and are worth the least points, 1,000 each. If you blast a purple robot, the remaining 3 turn red until a new one shows up. Red robots are a little slower, but are worth more points at 2,000 each. Blast a red robot, and the remaining 2 turn green, until a new one shows up. Again, a little slower, but worth more points at 3,000 each. Now, if you blast a green robot, the last one turns yellow. This is the golden robot, figuratively and literally, because blasting it nets you both 5,000 points and an extra life. Sweet. So this is where the real genius of Dark Cavern's design comes into play. Normally, the safest strategy here is hanging out at the end of a long corridor and waiting for the robots to wander in, but if you want the big points, you've got to proactively pick them off in quick succession to get to the lone golden bot, because before long, another one will enter the playfield and reset them both back to green, then red, then purple. And even if you do manage to camp out in a corner for a while and whittle down their numbers, you're still going to have to move out for more ammo eventually. And the spiders and blobs add another excellent design facet to this game, because they aren't just regular old collision hazards. The spiders actually paralyze you, probably from fear, because spiders are scary and these ones are the size of a man, leaving you temporarily vulnerable to incoming robot fire. Likewise, contact with the blobs robs you of your blaster ammo. Curse those blobber robbers, especially because they aren't even worth any points if you blast them. But it all makes for such a well-balanced gameplay experience with perfectly weighted risk-reward incentives. And if you ask me, the aesthetics of this game are perfectly designed too. The sprites are simple and distinct, the robot color coding is an excellent visual cue, and the animations are just so much fun. From the player running cycle, to the undulating blobs, to the wonderful, warpy, vaporizing bit when the robots get destroyed. And the sound design is arguably even better. The bassy woo-woo-woo-woo of those vaporizing animations, ambient hum of the cavern that speeds up and slows down based on the number of active robots, the ammo alarm that pitches up higher and higher until the item disappears, and of course the trilling bleeps of a blobber robber blobby robbing your bullets. The most novel aspect of this game is that the enemy robots can actually vaporize each other if they get hit with their own lasers. Of course, you don't get any points when this happens, but it's so hilarious that I don't even care. But that's not to say this quirk makes Dark Cavern an easy game. I never lasted too long without getting cornered and vaporized by robots, but it was always my own fault, so the difficulty is definitely fair. The game even has a B setting that lets you start out slow with robots that only fire forward instead of all directions. I actually opted for the more challenging A mode though, contrary to my normal disposition towards easy settings, and I even managed to blow past my own goal of populating the whole scoreboard at 100k by scoring almost double that on one particularly good run. If I could change one thing here, and this is really trivial mind you, I'd make the lives counter and the ammo counter 2 separate displays. As is, they're just a single indicator in the corner that cycles between remaining stock in white and remaining bullets in blue. And I'd much rather know both numbers at all times instead of needing to glance back whenever they cycle. Overall, Dark Cavern strikes me as a severely underappreciated title in the sea of Atari maze games, and it certainly deserves more praise. I mean, what's not to love about running around vaporizing robots and dodging bleepy, bloopy blobber robbers?